Now let's look at the composition of functions, specifically evaluation at a point. So what is the composition of functions? When you compose one function with another, we're applying one function to the result of another function. This is sometimes called composite functions. First, let's look at some notation before we start with some problems. So here we're given two functions, f of x and g of x. And we're looking at the result of f composed with g. So we're applying the function f to the function g, but we're also doing this evaluation at the point x equals a. Notationally, we can write this as f composed with g, sometimes said f circle g, evaluated at a. Or we can write f of g of a. So we say that we're doing an evaluation at a for the function g, and then we're going to apply that result into the function f. So let's look at some examples. Here we're going to be given f of x is the square root of x, and g of x is x squared minus 5. And we're asked to find f of g of 3. So this would look like f circle g with a 3 replacing that a. So the first thing we want to do is look inside and evaluate what's inside. So we need to determine g of 3. So we apply 3 into our g function and we get 3 squared minus 5, which is 9 minus 5. So we get a 4 as our result. So we're now going to take this 4 and we're going to substitute it into the f function. So we have f of 4 is the square root of 4, which we reduce to 2. So the solution is f of g of 3 is equal to 2. For a second example, let's look at the function f of x is 3x and g of x is x squared plus 1, and let's find both f of g of 3 and g of f of 3. So let's tackle f of g of 3 first. We need to find the inside piece, g of 3. So we substitute this 3 in for the x in our equation for g, and we get 3 squared plus 1. So 9 plus 1 is 10. Take this 10, the result, and substitute it into the f function. So we have f of 10, which is equal to 3 times 10, or 30, and we see that f of g of 3 is equal to 30. Now, apply that same idea to g of f of 3. In this case, the inside function is the f function, so we want to put a 3 in for x up here. So f of 3 is 3 times 3, which is 9. We're taking the 9 and substituting it into the g function. So g of 9 is 9 squared plus 1, or 81 plus 1, which is 82. So in this case, we see that g of f of 3 is equal to 82. At this point, it is worth noting that in general, f of g of a is not equal to g of f of a, as we see in example 2 above.